Today I wanted to give you guys some insight on the sports package I got for my Subaru WRX. This was the first time I'd been a Subaru owner. Very first car I've had was Subaru, so it's the 2015 WRX. And my thought process was, hey, I'm going to keep the car stock. Didn't happen. But, I thought that initially, and I decided, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and get a few sporty things, a nice sounding exhaust, some nice looking wheels, the short throw shift, just some few items to give it a more sporty characteristic rather than just basic stock car. So what did those parts consist of? It's the optional STI exhaust, the optional STI wheels, the short throw shift, and the optional STI shift knob. Now, a little bit about that process and why I'm not really happy with it after going through it and talking about it and thinking about it for a little while. So the main complaint I have about this is I bought this whole sports package. The wheels came in at a different time. The exhaust came in at a different time. The only thing that really came with the car when I ordered it and it got to the dealership was the short throw shift and the shift knob. Those were already on the car. So all the other items were pending. Whenever the dealership got them in, we could schedule a time to get everything installed. Well, first what happened is they got the wheels in. So they took off my stock tires and TPS sensors and put those onto the new STI wheels, the optional STI wheels that I had ordered. And I was like, okay, great, that's fine. In my mind beforehand, I had planned to use the OEM wheels as winter wheels. Well, when I took the car in and they swapped everything over to the new STI wheels, they said, no, we have to keep the OEM wheels and send those back. And I fought with them for a while on this. I even talked to the store manager, and pretty much a long story short is they ended up keeping the OEM wheels, and I was left with only the STI wheels. So, that peeved me off a little bit. And exactly the same thing happened with the exhaust. When that came in, they put the new STI exhaust on, they took the OEM off, they kept it, whatever they did with it. I highly doubt they sent it back to the factory. Why would you? Anyway, so yeah, that was a big problem with me, or that was a big problem for me, because between those two items, you're looking at almost $2,500. If I would have not gotten those, I could have spent the same amount of money. I could have had an extra OEM exhaust. I could have had an extra set of wheels for winter, minus tires. But that was, I could have came out ahead on that very easily. So that is a big problem with some of these optional items from Subaru. Now, whether you guys have had a different experience at your dealerships with that, I don't know. I can't speak for it. I can only speak for what's happened to me. And I didn't get to keep any of those. But it doesn't make sense, because if I were to go out and buy an aftermarket set of OEM wheels, we're looking at $1,100 to $1,200 for something that I can plan and I can get exactly the right fitment, the right size, the right offset, and be completely happy with it and spend almost the same amount of money. And then that way you have two sets of wheels, winter set and a summer set. So when you buy it from Subaru, you're actually minus $1,100 or whatever it is for OEM wheels. That's a lot of savings. So I really can't recommend the sports package at all, or any of the optional STI items or anything like that. You're losing a lot of money because, with the OEM wheels, you can pick those up. Man, people are selling those for dirt cheap, even with the tires on them. For a full set for maybe $300 to $500. All four tires, That's a really good savings, and then you've got a winner set. Also with the STI exhaust, those are going for $300 to $500 used when people take them off the cars. And that's a huge savings right there, because from Subaru, they're charging you like $1,100 to $1,200 again just for the exhaust, and that's all you get. You don't get to keep the OEM exhaust. And actually that exhaust is pretty good. I like it. It's 2.5 all the way back until it splits at the Y, and then I think it goes down to 2-inch or 2 1/4 or something like that. Anyway, the one I had doesn't have a resonator. It just goes back to the cans, and my exhaust setup through the car is all catless. The only thing I have on it are the mufflers back there. I don't get any rasp. Nobody tells me that, hey, your exhaust sounds like crap. So I actually do like the exhaust, and it's holding up to Ohio winter. We have some pretty harsh winters here. They always are putting salt down on the roads throughout the winter time, and the exhaust is holding up really well to that. I've seen some aftermarket exhausts that rust out pretty easily. But I like that exhaust, and I really recommend that exhaust over an Axleback. If you can find it on Facebook groups or anybody that has it used for $300, I would definitely pick that up over an Axleback any day. It's I just like the sound of it, and it's not going to rust out on you. And for $300, it's probably going to retain that resale value. Okay, so out of the 4 things I bought for the sports package, what am I still using? For the first 2 years, I was actually using the STI wheels. They were fine. Actually, the OEM tires, I thought, they did a really good job for what I wanted. I didn't need something super extreme like Michelin Super Sports or anything like that. So I felt like the tires actually did a really good job for summer driving and back road driving, stuff like that. I liked them. And if you could get those used, again, from somebody local, people are selling those for maybe like $300, a full set, just a little bit of, maybe a couple thousand miles of wear on them. That's actually a really good deal, because those tires aren't terrible for OEM. But anyway, so I actually bought a better set of summer wheels and tires. They have a better offset, and they fill that wheel gap and the wheel well more. They're not like a sunken in look. So I'm not using the sports package wheels for my car anymore. I'm not using those. I'm not using the STI shift knob. I've replaced that. And yeah, so I'm really just left with the STI exhaust out of that, and the optional short throw shift. And what was it? The sports package was roughly around $3,000. So that's a lot of money to spend when you can pick up a lot of these parts used versus brand new and save a lot of money. Then you can put money into actually paying the car off or whatever you want. So really, if you don't go with these parts, you're actually saving a lot of money in the long run. And that's just, some food for thought. So if I had to do over again, I probably would have went with a limited package. And if I really wanted, I'd pick up some STI wheels later down the road and use those as winter wheels. Again, in 2015, they were still pretty expensive used. People were trying to get, $1,000 out of them with the tires, $1,200. But now, after this platform's been out for 4 or 5 years, let's say, those I've seen STI wheel sets from the 15 STI, and those are down to about maybe $500 for the wheels. Not very likely, but anyway, that's better than spending $1,100 for STI wheels. So I really don't recommend going with the sports package if that's something you're looking at. Just put that money into a limited, or put it into aftermarket parts after the platform's been out for a while, and just pick up the OEM STI parts. you're going to be saving a lot of money. So hopefully that's helped you guys make a choice in your brand new car buying decisions. If you're going with Subaru and you're looking at some of those optional parts, thanks guys, and I'll see you on the next one.